Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Twanda Rezika and welcome to the first series of DaVinci Resolve tutorials. So today what I'm going to be discussing, this is going to be a really quick one. This is just kind of to let you know how to set up your color space in DaVinci Resolve. Most of the time I've seen that when people, after they've shot their video, either it might be in some log format. When I talk about log format, I mean this is when you have shot your video nicely and it's got all the colors in the world looking all vibrant, but you bring it into DaVinci Resolve and all you can see is this bland looking video and you're like, ah man, what happened? Nah, don't worry man, the DP did their work, or maybe you did your work. It's just that there's some things that need to be changed, right? So what I'm using today is DaVinci Resolve 20. It's the studio version, but these settings are pretty basic. They do apply to all DaVinci Resolves that we have. If not, just leave a comment below and let me know, and I can always do another version of tutorials for this one. So like, this is the timeline format, and usually the timeline format has to match what format you actually shot it in. So if you click on your footage, you can see the information over here in the metadata. If you cannot see that panel, this is the inspector. This is when you're actually editing the video, where you can transform the video and so forth. This is resetting it and stuff. But as you can see over here, I shot my video in 4K DCI, and this is the resolution ISO and whatever. So these settings need to match, like the 4K DCI, the frames per second, 30 frames per second, and so forth. And then your monitoring can be less than that. It's okay. You can even make it a 2K DCI, like it's kind of half of that. One of the tutorials that I want to do about how to set up your grading environment, doing things like calibrating your screen and lighting in your room and so forth, the best case scenarios. But going on with what I actually want to talk about today, without going on too much, is this what I call the color management, right? Like, so the kind of science that you actually need to be in is the DaVinci Resolve color managed by RGB. Now there are other color spaces and color sciences. I can always make an in-depth tutorial about each of these sections because it will take quite a long time. But so if you go on to DaVinci Resolve color managed, you remove where it says auto color managed over here, it will end up showing you that SDR Rec 709, and this is one which is suitable for all SDI and HDR deliverables. So usually this is the standard one that you actually need to be in, and then the output color space is where you're going to deliver it to, right? Like, so the Rec 709 is usually more comfortable for things like television, for broadcast and all that stuff. And if you're doing it for online, usually the color space that you want to be in for the output is sRGB. I'm going to do another tutorial where I show you how to use the DaVinci Resolve wide gamut. This is if you are shooting in things like RAW and so forth and all that. But in general, if you want the easy way out, have it looking good and all that stuff without putting too much effort into it, these are the settings that you need to have. So if you click save, you see how the screen changes over here. Just watch. It's a little bit dark, and that's one of the reasons why I actually have a color chart over here. So just to show you how things would look over here is, I'm just gonna create a quick timeline, and then I'm just gonna call it timeline 1, for the sake of it. And yeah, as you can see, now we have a timeline, just showing you the colors. So how you use this color chart, this is obviously not anything to do with this tutorial, but just showing you how you would use the color page in order to use this color chart. So the one that I used over here is a data color chart. So what I will quickly do is I'm just gonna do this so that I can kind of just show you something. now you can see that, like, you know, with the color grading that I did, this was before and this is the after. Just, you know, the power of using a color chart. This is kind of how my room was actually lit up on that day. So the color chart, that is the benefits of actually having it. And I'm actually gonna do more tutorials in this series showing you all these tips and tricks of how you can have a proper video shoot, like, you know what I mean, how you can get the best exposure, you know, remove noise and grain. As you can see, there's quite a bit of grain, but there are tips and tricks of how you can do it in DaVinci Resolve, and I want to teach you guys more. So if you're interested, please hit the like button, subscribe, and also leave a comment below. You know, tell me whether you enjoyed it, even just say enjoyed it or not, and if you didn't, you know, tell me why, or if there's anything that I can do to make this better. By subscribing to this channel, you're not only helping myself, but you're helping others, you know, receive this good content. As you know that none of this thing is actually sponsored, and I'm just trying to, you know, grow my fan base and everything, and I would greatly appreciate it if you guys actually did so. Thank you very much for listening in, and see you next time.